Hi, my name is Christian Hassold. I am an alumni of the Novato High School class of 1991. I'm coming to you from London, which is where work takes me these days. You can see it's in the corner there. It's gray outside. That's the way it is in London almost every day, it feels like. So I was confined to my flat last night and surfing YouTube, and naturally YouTube's memory stream likes to bring up videos of the past, and one of them was a video I had done about 10 years ago with a friend of mine. I'll get back to that story in a minute. I wanted to tell you a bit of a personal story, which is when I was younger, I was really into the visual arts. I loved television film production specifically, and tried to scratch my interest by borrowing my dad's camera equipment, including an 8mm a Super 8 camera, which those of us who have enough gray hair would know is a really basic like video camera, except it's film, and it didn't have sound and it was super limited, but I did a lot of quote-unquote production work with forcing my sister and her friends to do television commercials and other little shorts when I was 12 or 13. When I got into Novato, when I started going to Novato High School, I quickly found out that there was one video camera in the assistant principal's office, which was Mrs. Buck at the time. And if you wanted to borrow that camera, you had to have a really good reason and you had to sign it out, and there was all these rules around the use of the camera, and you'd have to bring it back at the end of the night. Over my high school career, I started using the camera very frequently to record rallies and football games and just life around the high school. And I started getting my friends Alan and Doug involved and a few other people in just sort of recording life and having fun with the camera. I didn't have a very clear point in mind at the time, other than I enjoyed doing it, and I didn't have enough equipment to actually take my interest beyond just the camera. But one thing that I did was I started the video yearbook program at the high school in 1990. That was a really terrible production, but people were kind enough to buy it. And then the class of 1991, I produced that video yearbook as well, which was also pretty terrible. And one of the reasons why it was so hard at that time was not just the technology, but the fact that Novato High as a public high school had really limited resources. So where were they going to get the editing equipment or a teacher that specialized in visual arts who could help advance and foster my interest in a way that might have made it a more serious hobby? So when I was editing the yearbook for the class of 91, I had to pay a production house a pretty hefty sum to be able to do all of the editing work. And so that brings me back to YouTube. Last night I was watching the video that is called A Day in the Life of 1991, which Michelle Helm, who was Michelle Aminifard back in the day, we put this together for our 20-year reunion 10 years ago. And it quickly links to A Day in the Life 1991-2020, which is essentially a retrospective that her son made last summer. And he is a graduate of the Marin School of the Arts within Novato High School. And first of all, the work was really awesome. I felt personally sort of touched by it because he was kind of replicating the art that Michelle and I had created together, but also was just very impressed that there is now a program at Novato High School that gives students tools, technology, and support to seriously advance their interest in arts, whether it's visual arts, creative writing. I think there's dance. There's some great programs at MSA, and they make the real, true pursuit of art possible in a serious way. And since many of us probably will not be able to wanting to travel to a 30th year reunion this year, including myself, mostly because of distance, I'd like to take the funds I would have spent on attending the reunion and donate those to Marin School of the Arts as a thank you for all of the things that they are doing and the way that they're advancing the educational opportunities at Novato High. And I'd like to appeal to my classmates and peers from the day to join me in that contribution. The MSA is a nonprofit organization, so it's tax deductible. If you're thinking about making gifts this year, I hope MSA is in your thoughts. So that's the pitch. Thanks for the consideration, and double thanks to Will Wall for making me think about MSA in this way, and for the awesome work that you did with Al last summer. So cheers to all.